Yesterday, Fine Gael TD Paul Keogh said in the Dáil that O'Connell Street is, quote, full of druggies. Taoiseach, I want to ask you to condemn this use of dehumanising and stigmatising language. I find it utterly incredible that a senior TD supporting the government would speak in such a way, punching down at some of the most vulnerable people in our society, people who are suffering from drug addiction. I do worry that it reflects a certain approach by the government of criminalising and stigmatising people when the government is underfunding drugs task forces right across the country. I'm on the Tala Drugs Task Force, massively underfunded. The same applies across the country, whereby they haven't recovered from massive cuts 10 years ago. The refusal by the government to take a public health-driven approach instead of relying on criminalisation and stigmatising. When Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael together have created the conditions of this crisis that exists in many of our communities because of the lack of investment in terms of housing, in terms of social services and in our communities. So I'd like a condemnation of those comments, and I'd like a commitment that that is not the sort of approach that this government will take.
Deputy Murphy, sorry. In respect of deputies, I didn't hear Deputy Keogh make those comments. I would not agree with those comments or approve of those comments because drug addiction is very difficult for the individual in the first instance, and in our view it has to be about understanding the issues, rehabilitation, helping people to come off addiction, providing the services to enable that to happen on a continuing and consistent basis. I do not accept that our model is criminalisation driven. I do not accept that at all. Like for 30 years now we've had a strong public health dimension to drugs in different iterations. Fianna Fáil would have been strong, very strong in supporting task forces. You should know that. Previous Ministers of State, Fianna Fáil Ministers of State over the last 25 years did a hell of a lot. I think there's former Minister Pat Rabbitte would have set up drug task force areas, continued on by the likes of Minister Nola Hearn, John Curran, and many, many more. And Owen Ryan as well. We're anxious to intervene in communities at community ground level. We should condemn the traffickers and the drug barons who are really destroying our young people and our city. And we've seen that in terms of the criminal gangs that have, I think, done huge damage to the city of Dublin and to the country in terms of the selling of drugs, getting people hooked on drugs and destroying families and individuals' lives as a result. And we have to have a health-based approach as the key approach to this, education as well at the earlier stages, building up of self-esteem in our education programmes.
I have to conclude.
I'm concluded.
Thank you.